What is the spiciest gossip you know that you are willing to share on Reddit? Story 1. The Great Parental Swap. A mom from my kid's class cheated with the father of another girl. 6 months later, they both got divorced and started dating each other. A few months after that, the other two, the betrayed exes, started dating too. Now their daughters are double step siblings. Yup, you heard that right. Imagine PTA meetings with this tangled mess, and as spicy as it already sounds, someone added this twist in the replies. My mom used to teach in a village where 4 families were so entangled, even staff couldn't tell who was parenting who. Sometimes it was both biological parents. Sometimes it was one biological parent with a new step partner who had previously been with another parent. Kids were like, "Today you're my step sibling. Tomorrow, just a friend again." It had already been going on for generations. Family tree? More like a family maze. And all this from a sleepy rural community. Makes you wonder what's really going on behind those white picket fences. Story 2. The cancer that wasn't. Let's rewind to the early 90s. A guy at a telecom company claimed he had 2 types of cancer. Sounds awful, right? Well, coworkers banded together, donated vacation hours, raised money, even covered shifts so he could go to Mayo Clinic. But one woman had doubts. Something about the story didn't sit right. She didn't donate and got side-eyed for it. The pressure was intense, but her gut told her it was fishy, and she was right. Once all the PTO and donated funds were collected, he disappeared. Just poof, never came back. Someone else replied with a similar scam. One of my employees told us he had leukemia and needed time off. I checked the county jail records. He was actually serving a 30-day sentence. I lied to the office and said he was at an outpatient facility just to save him from more lies. Moral of the story? Sometimes being skeptical isn't cruel, it's smart. Story 3. Keeping it in the family. Too much. So, there's this woman. She's used to going to her aunt's house to swim with her kids. One day, she arrives to find a woman she doesn't recognize on the porch, acting super awkward. Her cousin, who recently separated from his wife, is inside, acting just as weird. The next day, she sees the mystery woman at her kids' playgroup, cold as ice. Turns out this was the woman from her aunt's porch. A little Facebook digging reveals the truth. Her cousin had been cheating on his wife with his wife's cousin. And that's not all. This affair partner, she's also the daughter-in-law of the narrator's neighbor. Cheater's gonna cheat, but can they at least not involve the whole zip code? Apparently not. Mini reflection. Sometimes reality is messier than any drama series. Affairs, deception, tangled families, it's all out there. And while it's easy to laugh at the chaos, it's also a reminder. Your instincts matter. If something feels off, it probably is. And if your workplace starts feeling like an episode of Maury, it might be time to dust off that resume. Story 4. Corporate Game of Thrones. One person shared how, at their company, a manager was quietly sleeping with 3 people on the same team. And guess what? None of them knew about each other until they all found out on the same weekend. How? A company retreat. Apparently, drinks flowed, secrets slipped, and suddenly all 3 confronted the manager at the same time during a bonfire. Someone cried, someone threw a wine glass, and yes, HR was very, very busy on Monday. Bonus twist, one of them had just found out she was pregnant with his baby. The manager transferred voluntarily to another branch within a week. HR, the real unsung heroes. Story 5. Fired over a form and a slur. In a workplace meeting, a team member was walking around handing out forms. He accidentally skipped over one guy. That guy jokingly said, "What am I, a racial slur?" The entire room fell silent. No one knew what to do. He tried to brush it off as just a joke, but within 24 hours, HR was involved. He was terminated on the spot. Someone else replied, "We had a guy fired for calling a coworker a racial slur on a Zoom call. He forgot he wasn't muted. He was let go before the meeting ended." Moral? Mute buttons can't save your job if that's who you really are. Story 6. The car lot catastrophe. A mechanic at a used car dealership once made a bet with a coworker that he could hook up with the boss's wife. Gross? Absolutely. But here's the thing. He actually did it. Not only that, he bragged about it. Word got around the shop. The boss didn't say anything at first. Weeks passed. Then, during a morning team huddle, the boss calmly turned to him and said, "You think I didn't know? That's why I slept with your girlfriend." Chaos. Pure chaos. Fists were thrown. Someone fell into a stack of tires, and both men were fired that day. Everyone else got pizza for lunch and strict new workplace conduct policies. Story 7. Promotion by a flair. One woman shared how her coworker got a sudden, unexpected promotion. She wasn't even the most qualified. Rumors swirled, but nothing concrete. Then one day, someone walked into the boss's office without knocking and caught the two of them mid-hookup. She wasn't fired. The boss resigned to spend more time with family, and she got an even bigger role after the dust settled. Some said she earned it the wrong way. Others just admired the hustle. Story 8. The Ice Cream Shop Scandal. In a quiet little town, the owner of a popular ice cream shop, known and liked by many, was allegedly caught in a disturbing situation. One of his teen employees claimed he had sent her extremely inappropriate messages, offering money in exchange for behavior that had no place in any workplace, especially not between an employer and a minor. She took screenshots and showed her parents, who then confronted the owner. His wife defended him, saying he was drunk and that he couldn't have sent the messages because he was with her at the time. But the story doesn't end there. Apparently, this wasn't his first questionable incident. Locals say the wife had defended him before, most notably during alleged affairs, including one with someone who had her own shady past. Despite everything, nothing official seemed to happen. The girl quietly left her job, and the ice cream shop is still up and running. Most townsfolk either don't know or pretend they don't. Reflection. Sometimes the worst secrets stay hidden in plain sight. When communities fail to speak up, silence becomes protection for the wrong people. The bravest thing in these stories? The person who chose to speak out. Story 9. The Dentist's Big Secret. A dental assistant was training at a new office when her supervisor, an odd, unreadable dentist, randomly dropped a bombshell one day. She pointed across the parking lot and said, "See that oral surgeon's office? That's where the father of my oldest son works." Turns out, years ago, she had an affair with a man who now works literally next door and is happily married with his own family. Her son, now a teenager, has no idea that his real dad is just a parking lot away. And if that wasn't strange enough, the assistant later learned that when her son was just a toddler and had a medical emergency, the mom panicked and rushed him, to his real father to get treated. Talk about wild workplace tea. Imagine showing up to work every day and knowing that much drama is happening just one building over. Story 10. A promotion twist with heart. Not all gossip is scandalous. Sometimes it's inspiring. One team lead shared a behind-the-scenes moment that hadn't been announced yet. A talented, newer coworker had just been promoted to a lead role. Originally, she was supposed to move to another team, but the current team had a specialty she excelled in. So the narrator pulled a power move, not for themselves, but for her. They offered to switch teams just so she could stay and lead where she thrived the most. She's been here half the time I have, but she's one of those people who absorbs everything and lifts everyone around her. I couldn't be more proud. Reflection. In a world full of shady stories and selfish decisions, it's refreshing to see someone give up their own position to elevate someone else. This is what leadership should look like: spotting talent and making space for it to shine. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more incredible Reddit tales. Share your thoughts or your own experiences in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring those amazing stories.